Hey everybody, it's Cotton here, and I am bringing you some more of The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD. In the last video, we were over at Headstone Island, where we found out that Medley is the next Earth Sage. And in this video, we are going to be tackling the Earth Temple. Now, this is where things in the game start to get really interesting, because we now have a partner with us, and you see one of the things you can do is float along with her when you carry her. Another thing is she acts just like the statues from Temple of the Gods, so you can call her over and she'll follow you around. And now I believe in this game, yep, she actually follows you through the door. So in the GameCube version, I believe you actually had to carry her through, but not in this one. She'll actually follow you. She doesn't have any health, so she can take as many hits. It doesn't matter. But another thing is, oh, I guess she stops following you if a monster is attacking, I guess. But all you can do is just close to her, call her to come, and then that's that. And then there is another thing you can do, which I'm going to show off really quick. But actually, before we do that, there's you can actually throw her, and so you can throw her to a distant place. I don't think there's too many instances where we'll need to do that, but it's something you can do. But now I'm going to take control of her. And you do that by playing the command melody. And once you do that, Link is now able to control Medley, which is awesome because she has the ability to fly, which you can do. So you can see in the top left there, you have a meter, so you can only fly for so long. You can press ZR to go back to controlling Link, and Medley will stay wherever she is. But what we need to do is just press down these two switches. And so you can kind of get an idea of how interesting the puzzles can get in this game, because it will require the two of them. Now, what happens if Medley gets hit while you're controlling her? You'll lose control of her. So that's all that happens. And since those were... Oh! We don't actually have to fight these guys, so I'm just going to ignore them. She didn't follow me! Are you kidding me? Dang it. I hope I don't have to fight those other choo-choos. But see, okay, now we're in a room with a bunch of choo-choos, and you're going to notice that we have a color of choo-choo we haven't seen before. When you try to attack it, like, let's shoot it with an arrow, it doesn't do anything. You hit it with your sword, and it just comes back to life. And so the only way to actually beat them is to lure them into the light, and then use the skull hammer to bash them. And I shouldn't have done that, because now I have to wait for these guys to get unstunned. But there's a few more things we can do, but we actually need Medley, so I kind of screwed up a little bit there. I'll see if I can get this guy over really quick, just so I can get both of them. There we go. I'm guessing there's another one. There we go. So now the door should open up. Now you don't need to worry about losing Medley. If she gets left behind in a room, she'll just appear right in front of the last door that you went through. And so since the last door was the one way over here, that she'll be standing right in front of it. Once we get the compass, we'll actually be able to see her location on the map. So you'll never lose her. She'll never get like lost anywhere. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, she will follow you through the doors, you know, when she's just following you, but I don't know, for some reason she didn't there. Maybe because there was the door locked afterwards. But the thing about Medley's harp is that it reflects light, as you can see there. And so that's going to be the main focus of this entire dungeon. So you can press A and she'll pull it out. And you can make that chest appear that was invisible just a few moments ago. And also these statues over here, when you shine light on them, you can make them disappear. And so there's nothing really important behind these. There's just some rupees and some magic. But, you know, you can check it out if you want to. Now, if you go back to Link, while she is doing that, she will stay in that spot. And she won't move until you call her or do anything else like that. And so, actually, why did I collect that? You can see these things up here. Whoops. You can actually light those on fire and burn them. And there will be items behind them that you can collect with the boomerang. You also remember this, like the warp, the warp jars. Normally, like I used bombs to do it, but you can use the fire arrows if you want to. There's nothing entirely useful behind the curtains unless I specifically tell you, but you can burn them and see if there's anything inside that you want to get. But right here we have our first chest in the game, which I can't remember. It's the dungeon map. There we go, that'll be useful. And so just to be safe, I'll just carry her along through the doors. But let's see, there was something else that I wanted to say. What was it? I can't remember what it was. But let's see, right here, this is... Oh. This like gas right here, when you go into it, you can't use any of your items, and it will disappear after a certain amount of time, or if you go into the light, it will disappear. And so as you can see, Medley has her back to it, so we can actually go in there. And that's another thing, like you don't have to place Medley and then command her. You can just kind of like play around with her and get her to face the opposite direction, so that when the harp's on her back, it will go exactly where you want to. So you can avoid having to play the command melody. And I remember what I wanted to talk about. This map, or this dungeon, requires you to take control of her quite a bit. And it actually turned out to be kind of annoying because in the GameCube version, like I said, all the songs repeated themselves after you played it. And that was really annoying, considering the amount of times that you needed to play it. And yeah, this dungeon was actually pretty tedious. But like either way, I still consider this to be like my favorite dungeon in any Zelda game. And it kind of brings me like to another point. I love this like two-player dynamic that it brought to the game. And I think it kind of opens up possibilities for like a two-player Zelda game. You know, either you know, you could play by yourself and have you know, just control the AI the same way that you control Medley, or you could have another person that could just jump in whenever they wanted to, and so like you and a friend could play through. Yeah, I don't know, that's just I really liked this dungeon, and I'd love to see more of it. More of this two-player aspect, and I'd honestly love to see like a full game made off of it. And in here we get our first small key, and once you do that, it makes a floor master appear. And so if you know floor masters, they will take you back to the beginning of the dungeon. But now that we have a partner, they can actually grab your partner and take her away. Fortunately for us, he is pretty stupid and he went into the light. The light actually hurts him. I don't know if it would actually kill him, but it just kind of stuns him. And so now Medley's taken. You might wonder what's through this door, but there's nothing we can do just yet, so I'm just going to ignore it. If Medley ever gets taken by a floor master, she will be sent back into this room. She will be up there inside the cage. And in order to get her out, you just have to play the command melody. You do that, you can take control of her, and then you just fly out. There we go. Simple as that. But now that we have a key, we can go through this door. And we're going to get some enemies in here, some choo-choos. Whoops, I did not mean to shoot a fire arrow at him. That's what I meant to do. But there is, as you can see, there's some light shining through that one, so let's shoot that and then see what's behind it. We get some light, so that obviously must be fairly important coming along. Dang it, I shot another fire arrow at him. I don't mean to do that. But now we also have some dark choo-choos, and so what we need to do is we actually get a couple of them actually fall down. Now, you might be thinking you want to take Medley and Link and put them on these right here. Kind of spacing on what you would call them, but these little buttons here. But they're only temporary, so you have to leave something on there that will stay. So what you need to do is, you know, turn those choo-choos to stone, and then you can walk up here. And so, of course, the choo-choos don't stay in stone forever. So they will eventually turn back to normal, and that's why you'll push this down so that you have, well, you not only open the door, but now you have a shortcut to getting up here. So now you don't have to put those choo-choos down every single time. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, this dungeon, like, I think it really gives a lot of possibilities into like a two-player Zelda game, and I really think it's possible. And I just love to see it. I mean, I really, really like this dungeon. It's, you know, it's like my favorite one in this game, my favorite one in a Zelda game. I just want to see more of it. But now we need to take control of her again. Whoops, messed that up. But you can kind of see where the song would have gotten annoying. Like right there, we would have had to have listened to it again if this was on the GameCube. But, you know, nice thing they did was they, you know, made the songs a lot quicker, you know, made the game flow a lot nicer. And so we have another thing over here to open up. And so these walls with those like sun marks on them, they can open up when you shine light on them. And there's also this statue here. Can I actually just... no, I can't. But that's all we need to do with her. And so if you noticed, this one opened up another warp jar. And this opened up another block for us to push around. Oh, what? I don't know what she ran off for. She must have, like, walked away from me pushing the block. That's kind of cool. But we'll push that one there, and then we'll push this one over. And it makes a chest appear. Now let's get Medley up there. We can actually just throw her up there, so if you just toss her, she'll fly. Whoops. If you throw her into a wall, she'll get a little dizzy. You can actually just throw her right here. But yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. You can throw her. That might be the only reason you'd want to throw her, is to just, like, get her up on a platform. But inside this chest, we get the compass. And we're gonna get a message from Coral. He tells us what I told you. Medley will stay in the last room that she was in. You don't have to worry about losing her. And you can also see hers and your locations on the dungeon map. And here, I can just leave her right there. Now we need to, I believe we need to destroy all the enemies here. Now, this is the first time we've seen Poes. So these are the Poes in this game. There are two ways to beat them. The normal way to beat them is to shine light on them, which will turn them solid. As you can see now, they are see-through. You can't damage them, you can't do anything to them while they're see-through. Another way to beat them is by using one of their own attacks against them, I suppose. One of their attacks will be to possess you, which will reverse your controls in the opposite direction. If I could just get them to do that. Can I get him to drop this, maybe? There we go. Now that he's dropped that, maybe he'll possess me so I can show it off. Come on, buddy. There we go. And so now I'm pressing forward, but I'm going backwards. And so the controls are just messed around. But if you don't want to have to worry about, like, shining light on them, this is, like, one way you can do it. And then he just disappears like that. And so now I'm going to control Medley to take advantage of this light here. And so, as you probably guessed, this whole light reflecting thing is probably, like, yeah, it's probably going to be expanded upon with the item that you get. If you played a Zelda game before, you should probably know what it is. I guess I won't spoil it. We'll be getting it pretty quick here soon enough, actually. And this is how you are supposed to defeat the Poes. You shine light on them, and they turn solid like this. They kind of run around, and you take a couple hits, and they're gone. So I'll grab these rupees, I guess, now that you've destroyed all the enemies. That opens up. And so I'll grab this chest really quick. I don't believe there's actually anything important in here, but I'm going to grab it anyway. And it's a joy pendant. There we go. And so next, we can't do anything about that wall, but we can't actually take Medley with us to our next destination, which is through this door. Let's see, now you're supposed to drop down, and then there's like a bunch of enemies in there, but I believe there's actually... I've seen the speedruns do it. You can actually... I like that there. You can float over with your Deku Leaf, make that open up, and then fly back to there, and I missed it. But if you do it right, you can hang on to the ledge, and then use the boomerang to collect the key. So you don't actually have to drop down here and fight the enemies that are inside. Because you have to destroy all the enemies in order to make the ladder fall down. And once you see what enemies are in here, you're going to realize why that is such a good idea, and I missed his attack. It's re-deads. Let me up. Let me go. No. There we go. Does that do anything? No, I didn't think so. Got him! There we go. That's what I meant to do. So you can try to get that sneaky first attack on them if you want to. We just got rupees in here. I'll take them anyway. And then here's our final one. And now I'm gonna be bouncing off the edge of that coffin, but whatever. Yep. And there we go. I figure for these dungeons, I can maybe make them a little bit longer videos. I kind of wanted to get this item first before I end off the video, because right in here we have a mini-boss fight. Now, I would recommend getting out your boomerang and your hammer, because it will be very useful against the enemies in here, which are Stalfos. And so one thing you can do, you can throw your boomerang at them, which will stun them, which is actually really useful. But as soon as you do enough hits to the body, their head will come off and they'll bounce around. If you don't kill them fast enough, they will respawn their body, and then you have to fight them like all over again. But of course, it's a one hit with the hammer, so I like to stun them with the boomerang and then hit them with the hammer. I think that's about the easiest way to take care of these guys. You could maybe throw a bomb at them. I'm not entirely sure exactly, like, if that would help. But as you can see, these guys don't take any flinch damage, so, like, they can still, like, hit you while you're attacking them, which is really, really annoying. I hate these guys. They're probably my least favorite enemies in this game, but using the boomerang against them makes it really, really easy to fight them, and it's really useful. So I'd recommend using that when you're fighting these guys. It's especially useful when you fight multiple Stalfos, because, you know, when you've got a whole bunch of heads flying around, it's hard to prioritize the one, because they do take quite a few hits before they go down. And so it's easier just to get that one hit with the hammer. But up here we get our dungeon item, which is the mirror shield. And so now that will reflect... I probably should have watched that, but it reflects light. And I'm not exactly sure if it will reflect magical attacks. I will check that out before the next video to find out. But in order to escape, all you need to do is light that. And so this is kind of showing you how to use your new mirror shield. But I will finish the video off here, so next time we will continue deeper into the Earth Temple. I will see you then.